This program is brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?
When running a business means
Where did I put that receipt?
we can help you with instant accounting, free software that does your bookkeeping for you. When it means
What do you mean the container hasn't arrived?
we help protect your business from risk with Mohwebi Insurance. And when it means
How do we pay our staff that don't have bank accounts?
we help you make multiple payments directly to people's phones with e-wallet bulk send. At FNB, we're constantly innovating to help business owners at every stage of their journey.
Youth unemployment continues to be a top economic priority as the figures continue to stagger up. International Labour Organization announced early this year that the rate of unemployed youth is expected to exceed 30% by the end of 2019. In Southern Africa, South Africa leads the statistics of unemployed youth at 58.20%, according to a report by Statistics South Africa released earlier this year. Trading Economics puts the lowest figure in the region in Mozambique with about 7% for 2018. In Botswana, this problem continues to persist with as many as 37.14% of youth remaining without jobs, according to Statista International 2019. Be that as it may, government initiatives such as the Youth Development Fund assist youth with funding to encourage them to set up business enterprises in response to this plight. While that may be the case, some youth are thriving in this unforgiving labor market, fighting tooth and nail to make a living. This evening on First Issues, we celebrate a young person doing exactly that. Our guest on the program tonight is Tumiso Thomas, who decided to beat the odds by being a dancer. Tumiso started dancing at the tender age of 8 years, but joined traditional dance group Mohwana at the age of 11. The lad lit the stages with his solo performances and the group performances until he was about 18 years, when he realized he could legitimize his talent and make this into an income-generating stream. Instead of vying for orthodox tertiary institution courses like your social sciences, finance, and the likes, Tumiso decided to pursue a career in dancing. That is when he attended the Market Theatre at Vuyani Dance Theatre, followed by Mabana Arts, Culture and Sports Foundation in South Africa. Tumiso's not doing this just for the fun of it. He got his Botswana Qualifications Authority accreditation to authenticate his craft when teaching individuals, corporates, and putting together dance spectacles for huge events, all at a fee. Under his belt, he has been part of a team that choreographed for such events as the BOTS 50 celebrations, the BNSC Awards, the BOMU Awards, to mention but a few. He says he has worked with such international acts as Somizi Mhlongo from South Africa. In realizing the potential for his talent to make him a decent living, Tumiso took to registering Mobini Academy to offer contemporary, Afrofusion, capoeira, and house choreography. The institution was officially launched last year. From this studio, Tumiso says he makes a handsome living from all the classes and contracts he has received. He says it was not always easy, as it took a while to make his parents understand what kind of path he decided to embark on. He adds that he constantly has to answer questions from strangers about how he rationalized following this path in the type of culture we live in. When did you realize that dancing can actually be an income-generating stream for you?
It actually started back in years ago, but I just realized it would start making me money in 2006. That's when I knew this could actually put food on my table.
Okay, so how is it putting food on your table? For somebody who is at home, a young person, you know, unemployed, and they've got like a certain talent, how would they know?
Well, I guess if people could stop, or someone could stop running around and beating around the bush and at least try and focus on what they want and follow it, I think with time it will start to pay off. maybe they should just pick one thing, focus on it and run with it, and it shall do wonders.
What kind of fulfillment are you getting from this? Is it just passion, you know, and your talent? Is it about money?
I think now it's about money, because as you grow with time, you begin to realize your worth, and you begin to realize that people actually make money out of what you are doing as well. And then money ends up adding up, being a cherry on top. But it starts with passion, because with passion you would grow. With passion you would inspire to learn, to want to know more, and even want to grow, because no one wants to pay for unripe fruit.
Then speaking of unripe fruit, how did you make sure that this fruit was monetized? What strategies did you employ to make sure that a talent is not just a talent and you actually get your talent's worth?
I saw a loophole that was there. I mean, I've been a traditional dancer before, and they were not really paid, but no lebu huanyana hela. And then with time, I ventured into the other dance styles, and then I realized, you know what, this is actually something that is not common in my country. So why not turn it into a job and make money out of it?
How are you going to be ensuring that a talent doesn't turn back into being just a talent?
So what I do is I take time out. You know, you don't have to be choreographing and be dancing and being on stage and enticing people. So I take time out, and whenever I take time out, I go back to other neighboring countries to try and upgrade what I have, so that I could be able to bring something new. Because if people are going to keep seeing one and the same thing back and forth, later on you even lose your value. So I take some time out. Even if I'm not going anywhere, I just stay home, try and research more, try and learn more stuff, you know, so that when I come back, I become better and bigger.
So what does the future look like for you, Mobini Dance Academy?
It looks really bright, because now Mobini is just not a dance company. It's no longer just a dance academy. It's also venturing into a clothing line. It's growing into clothing line, into shoes, into socks, into your flip-flops, into everything. And yeah, that's what I'm really looking into as I end my year. You know, next year I really want to bring other elements of Mobini, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be notifying Botswana about those, because they're still in the pipeline.
All right. So do you have any words of encouragement for the young person who's out there?
This one should go out to the parents, you know, their caretakers, their guardians, that just allow your kids to venture into what they know and what they believe in. Just do not force them to be academically gifted. We are not all academically gifted, but I believe our talents, and with how our economy is growing and diversifying, it's time we allow our kids to do other things instead of just going to school and coming back and work white-collar jobs.
When running a business means
Where did I put that receipt?
we can help you with instant accounting, free software that does your bookkeeping for you. When it means
What do you mean the container hasn't arrived?
we help protect your business from risk with Mohwebi Insurance. And when it means
How do we pay our staff that don't have bank accounts?
we help you make multiple payments directly to people's phones with e-wallet bulk send. At FNB, we're constantly innovating to help business owners at every stage of their journey.
Just like everything else during the festive season, the music industry experiences a boom in sales during the holiday season. According to music business publication HypeBot, about 20% of all annual music sales take place in the last 6 weeks of the year. This is during the holiday season. The demand is there consistently every year from online music streams and raw record sales, but more especially concert and festival ticket sales. Even though the demand for music and a good time is high during the season, how much one makes will depend on varying factors, including your popularity within your target audience. Being the second biggest music market in Africa after Nigeria, big names in South Africa within the music industry get paid anything from 10,000 rands to 250,000 rands per performance, while not so popular artists can get anything from 1,500 rands to 3,000 rands, according to the Business Insider South Africa. But being paid such amounts does not depend solely on an artist's talents, but rather the keen eye of a talent scout with the ability to turn almost anyone into a megastar, a skill that commands years of experience and a good ear. Qualities that speak to our guest as he shares his sage advice on how he was able to identify some of today's most popular acts. Oskido, one of South Africa's pioneers of the house kwaito music genre, a club and radio DJ, producer and entrepreneur. His career came to life after he volunteered to perform at a nightclub in Johannesburg in the late 80s, early 90s, where he used to sell boerewors after a scheduled DJ failed to show up. Let us now go back to the beginning. Oskido, as we have affectionately come to know him, was born Oscar Bonginkosi Mhlongwa in Okasi, South Africa. The young lad spent most of his early life in Luveve Township, Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, where he went for his basic education. Now a young man, he returned to Brits, South Africa at the age of 21 in 1988 to run the family shop before leaving for Johannesburg to pursue a career in music where the rest became history. The musical genius attributes having a good ear for music and talent as his master weapon in this industry. Since setting up shop, Oskido has gone on to produce for numerous artists, but Boom Shaka were his first signing with their debut album It's About Time. Later on, such acts as Trompisi, Bongo Muffin and Mafiki Zolo joined his stable. The label has since grown to accommodate newer acts such as Busiswa, Black Coffee and Uhuru, to mention but a few.
I used to call myself Oscar the Big O that time, but later, things changed, and I remember playing at the varsity. I heard these kids saying Oscar Waruna, Oscar Waruna. Then from there, I started adapting that thing, even on the microphone, Oscar Waruna. Hey, what is? Then I call myself Oscar Waruna. And 5 years down the line later, there's a friend of mine, he used to call me Oskido every time, and it sounded so sweet, man. It sounded, I just said, wow, I think I dig that. So from there, I adopted the name Oskido, and here I am.
Oskido says on the outset, sporting talent may seem like quite the tricky fit, but with patience, understanding and foresight can be the most impactful act. He adds, the trick is to look out for a certain je ne sais quoi that will undeniably ensure yours and the artist's success.
In terms of sporting talent, I think God gave me that thing. I can tell you that, from the artists who I met when they were young, from Mafiki Zolos, from Busiswa, from a lot of people, I can see that, he is talent. If you can look at people who have given platforms to be signed at Kalawa, guys like Black Coffee to license their stuff via Kalawa Jasmine. I've always been, that type of a person, and I think God, he can give you this strength, but you can be, I'm weak on other things. For example, when I spotted Tebe, I was in Mabato. When I got there, I was DJing, I was DJing for long hours, but these kids kept on bothering me and saying, you know what, can you play this cassette? Can you play this song? I remember I was playing at Mabato San. So around about 4 a.m., because I used to DJ for long. Then from there I decided, let me put this song. And wow, I saw everyone exploding, the barmans, whatever, they were dancing. And I had to play that song, I remember that night 5 times. And from there I said, wow, because the song, I saw the impact which it had. So therefore, I said, this song, it was a Tegdiabo Kofili, yeah. Then I said, this song is going to take the dance floors, by storm. Then from there I signed it. typical Busiswa, for example, the biggest thing right now. I mean, I heard it from, you know, I listened to, there's one song which was done by the late Bob Zenenda. I heard the, you know, her sing, and I remember meeting her, maybe it was a year later, and I knew that, you know, this girl just got something on her. And because I had listened to the song a year later, then I just said, you know what, we want to sign you. And she couldn't believe it. And boom, there she was, signed on the label.
The man shares that as a business person, one has to be aware of their shortcomings and seeking interventions where necessary. Oskido shares that on his journey to entrepreneurship, he has had to learn that he's not the master of all that he hopes to achieve, and so has had to bring in extra ears, extra eyes, and skills to help him become the success that he is today.
For example, I'm not a boardroom person. I'm not a person who can sit in the board. I'm that guy who's more on the creative space, you know. And these days, music industry also needs, you know, that boardroom mentality. It needs people who can sit down, discuss. I can come in, discuss marketing idea, but I can't sit down and say, okay, you know what, let's do it step by step, put it like this, like this, like this, like this. I can come in and say, boom, you know what, I'm thinking of this. I think it can work, but I need people who can put it together.
Having been in the music industry for almost 30 years, Oskido says that one of his greatest mistakes in this business has been neglecting the importance of proper paperwork, which has resulted in a loss of wages and many misunderstandings within the stable.
Well, I think first was signing artists. We're not taking care of our contracts properly. You know what, because we started from the boot of our cars selling cassettes and whatever, and we'll come in, we share the money. But later, you know, that caught on to us that paperwork is the most proper thing to do. And eventually one got to know and say, you know what, we can't do business without paperwork.
Along the way, he has made mistakes just as it is to be expected from every human, but refused to not get back up on the saddle and continue enjoying the ride. In all this, Oskido says the biggest lesson he has learned is that humility is the key to unlock almost every door. He says understanding that he's not above reproach has taught him some of the most profound lessons he still lives by today.
Well, that being humble, it takes you a long way. I mean, it opens doors for you. Being cool-headed, and also you need to listen to people. You need to understand, have that time to listen to people, and yeah, and respect, you know. Respect someone's opinion. Don't always think, don't be judgmental. Don't come in and override people. Don't come in and have that bully thing. Even if you know that you're right, pretend like, okay, you know what. But if you have that thing of saying that sorry, make sure that if you have made a mistake, pick up a thing and say, you know what, yo, I really messed up here.
Making his own observation about our own local industry, Oskido says there's not enough networking that can benefit Botswana in the entertainment space. He says that a lack of passion to help others by some artists who've been in the industry for a very long time does not inspire upcoming artists to stay the course.
You know, it's the networking which hasn't been there. As one guy mentioned, that there isn't any more there isn't leaders, you know, who are coming in to lead people who you can aspire to and say, I mean, when you look at them and say, you know what, I want to be like this guy. So I feel everything has just been flat. There's no one who's going out and say, listen, really we want to do. Skizo, he's been pushing it, but I think he pushed by himself without any much kind of thing. I mean, we've seen DJ Fresh, he's gone in to say, you know what, let me focus on what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is that kids must understand there that it's not just, because, you know, most of them, they just want to be there for the sake of doing it. You know, they are not passionate about it. So all you need is to people who are going there to say, listen, I'm passionate about this thing. I'm going to get this thing. I'm going to go in and do it, and this is going to be my life.
I believe you, Oskido, yes I do. Oh, yes I do. Long I believe you, Oskido, Tula do. Oh, Tula do. Yes 8, yes 9, the commandment. For a moment. Come on, say the roof is on fire.
When running a business means
Where did I put that receipt?
we can help you with instant accounting, free software that does your bookkeeping for you. When it means
What do you mean the container hasn't arrived?
we help protect your business from risk with Mobini Insurance. And when it means
How do we pay our staff that don't have bank accounts?
we help you make multiple payments directly to people's phones with e-wallet bulk send. At FNB, we're constantly innovating to help business owners at every stage of their journey.
How many of us here knew and understood the concept of saving and investing from an early age? Or is the general understanding of these from when we got our first paychecks? It is not uncommon to find that a lot of people only came to understand the various concepts of money in their adulthood, which has led to issues of household debt reaching its glass ceiling. Tonight on the program, we have a sit-down chat with Tumelo Tumelo on the concept of saving and investing as part of the tools to teach children about money from an early age.
When we talk about saving, we are talking about the future of these particular children. Imagine if you started saving 100 pula for your child from the day they were born and allowed them to take over the account at a moment where you started giving them pocket money. Imagine by the time they finish varsity or they start varsity, how much they would have. Now I believe you have a picture of how saving can change a child's life in securing their future. A lot of times children are given pocket money. It may be small amounts, but when you teach them the concept of saving, the money can become 10 pulas at the end of the month or in 3 months, 20 pillars in however long that they've managed to accumulate the funds. So you simply start by buying them a money box or a piggy bank to allow them to make their savings at their pace. You allow them to have particular goals of how much do they wish to have accumulated and how long. And you open an actual savings account for them, which now brings in the element of accountability and ownership, and teach them how to deposit the money as and when they've managed to save enough to change the money into notes.
That is all that the First Issues had for you this evening. Happy New Year to you and yours. Good night. This program was brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?